Love Under Fire, Chapter 25. A striking contradiction. But the beast with lamb-like horns spoke like a dragon, and he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast who was wounded by the sword and lived. The lamb-like horns and dragon voice point to a contradiction. The prediction that it will speak like a dragon and exercise all the authority of the first beast foretells that it will develop a spirit of intolerance and persecution like those of the dragon and the leopard-like beast. And the statement that the beast with two horns causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast indicates that the authority of the nation will enforce giving allegiance to the papacy. Such action would be against the basic principles of its free institutions, against the solemn statements of the Declaration of Independence, and against the Constitution. The Constitution provides that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, and that no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. Yet the symbol points to flagrant violation of these safeguards to liberty. The beast with lamb-like horns, professing to be pure, gentle, and harmless, speaks like a dragon. Telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast, here the prophecy presents a form of government in which the legislative power rests with the people, a most striking evidence that the United States is the nation indicated here. But what is the image to the beast? How is it to be formed? When the early church became corrupted, she set out to get the support of secular power. The result, the papacy, a church that controlled the state, especially for the punishment of heresy. In order for the United States to form an image to the beast, the religious power must so control the civil government that the church will use the state to accomplish her own ends. Protestant churches that have followed in the steps of Rome have shown a similar desire to restrict freedom of conscience. An example is the Church of England's long-running persecution of dissenters. During the 16th and 17th centuries, nonconformist pastors and people faced fines, imprisonment, torture, and martyrdom. Apostasy led the early church to seek the help of civil government, and this prepared the way for the papacy, the beast. Said Paul, the falling away comes and the man of sin is revealed. The Bible declares, in the last days perilous times will come, for men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self-control, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying its power. Now the Spirit expressly says that in latter times some will depart from the faith, giving heed to deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons. All who do not receive the love of the truth, that they might be saved, will accept strong delusion that they should believe the lie. When this happens, the same results will follow as in the first centuries. Many think that the wide diversity of belief among Protestant churches is proof that no forced uniformity can ever happen. But for years, in Protestant churches, there has been a growing desire to unite. To bring about such union, they must avoid discussing subjects on which they do not all agree. In the effort to have complete uniformity, it will be only a step to resort to force. When the leading churches of the United States unite on the points of doctrine that they hold in common and influence the state to enforce their decrees and to support their institutions, then Protestant America will have formed an image of the Roman hierarchy, and civil penalties on dissenters will inevitably follow. The beast and his image. The beast with two horns causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. The third angel warns, if anyone worships the beast and his image, and receives a mark on his forehead or on his hand, he himself shall also drink of the wine of the wrath of God. The beast whose worship is enforced is the first, or leopard-like, beast of Revelation 13, the papacy. The image to the beast represents the form of apostate Protestantism that will develop when the Protestant churches seek the help of civil power to enforce their beliefs. The mark of the beast still remains to be defined. Those who keep God's commandments are contrasted with those who worship the beast and his image and receive his mark. The keeping of God's law on the one hand and its violation on the other will be what distinguishes between the worshippers of God and the worshippers of the beast. The special characteristic of the beast and of his image is the breaking of God's commandments. Daniel says that the little horn, the papacy, shall intend to change times and law. Paul called the same power the man of sin, who would exalt himself above God. Only by changing God's law could the papacy exalt itself above God. Whoever would knowingly keep the law in its changed form would be giving supreme honor to papal law, a mark of allegiance to the Pope in place of God. The papacy has attempted to change the law of God. It has changed the fourth commandment in an attempt to authorize observing the first day instead of the seventh day as the Sabbath. The Bible presents this as an intentional, deliberate change. He shall intend to change times and time. The change in the fourth commandment exactly fulfills the prophecy. Here the papal power openly sets itself above God. The worshippers of God will be especially known for keeping the fourth commandment, the sign of creative power. The worshippers of the beast will be noted for their efforts to tear down the Creator's memorial, to exalt the Sabbath of Rome. It was in behalf of Sunday as the Lord's Day that the Church of Rome first asserted its arrogant claims. But the Bible points to the seventh day as the Lord's Day. Christ said, "The Son of Man is also Lord of the Sabbath." His own words disprove the frequent claim that Christ changed the Sabbath.